Why can't I fire you?
Because I'm your wife. You can't fire me. We in this together.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. Just can't tell it all. Just can't tell it all.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 11 of the Thursday podcast with your host, the H-double Heart Henry.
And your lady, the her.
Hey, how are you today?
I am awesome sauce. How are you?
I'm good. We are equally excited about today's guest today, as this episode is entitled Keeping Up with the Joneses, What a Marriage Needs to Be Spiritually Healthy. We are keeping up with our season 4 theme in sickness and in health as we invite guests, couples on to come talk about their relationships, marriage, and give some good solid advice of what a healthy relationship looks like. And our last guest from Florida, Pastor and First Lady Garrison, came on. We had a great time with them. So if you didn't see that, please go check that out.
Yes.
Right. And moving forward, we have a couple more guests that we're going to bring on to the show before we end season 4. And then our season 5 is going to be equally exciting as we talk to newlyweds. Woohoo. So before we move on, we have to let you know that this show is sponsored by none other than who?
Well, let me take it away, sir. All right. This episode of the Thursday podcast is brought to you by none other than Sons of SP Phillips. Go to www.sonsofspphillips.com for a great selection of new or slightly used designer and name brand clothing and apparel. Sons of SP Phillips also has custom t-shirts and fashion accessories just for you. www.sonsofspphillips.com has up to 70% off on most items, and any purchase over $45 gets what?
Free shipping. Yippee skippy. Free shipping. So make sure you go to www.sonsofspphillips.com today and see their selection. You can follow Sons of SP Phillips on their social media pages on X, IG, and Facebook at Sons of SPP. And we also have a TikTok page that we share that is ran by none other than Enrique the Engineer, which is SPP Media. That's on TikTok. So you'll see some content, see some drops, some clothing drops, and even some audiograms from both of our podcasts. So make sure you check those out, and make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast and our social media pages. So let's get this ball rolling and roll.
Let's get it. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Thursday podcast here in the Elephant Room studio with your host, H-double Heart Henry, and your lady, the her.
Can I introduce myself?
Introduce yourself.
Your lady, the her, is in the building.
Yes, she is. Finally. She's back.
Hey, I was here the last episode.
Yeah, okay. We are here with our esteemed guests who I'm so excited to talk to today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. We came across them visiting their church because of my uncle brother, Pastor Hearns. So
Nope, Minister Hearns.
Minister Hearns. I'm sorry. So he found a church, and we went, and I do thoroughly enjoy myself. And I sat down with the pastor a few times, and we had a conversation. And I kind of like the movement and the direction it's going. But I'm going to let the pastor and first lady introduce themselves, and we're going to just go ahead and get into a few things, and we're going to knock this out.
Ladies first.
Oh, you will put me on the spot. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Stephanie. I am the quote-unquote first lady of the Purpose Center Church. I usually don't like that title, but that's who I am. That's a position that I'm in. Okay. But I'm more than that. And so as we go on today, I'll share more about all the things that I do if that comes up. But then your turn.
She is actually the co-pastor of the Purpose Center Church.
Okay.
And and she is more than just a co-pastor. That's her calling. Her hobby is she is a mental health
hobby?
therapist.
That is not a hobby, brother. That is a full-fledged profession. What you talking
Go
about?
ahead, get it right.
Oh, he need to get it right. When I say a full-fledged profession, I went to school many years for that title.
Yeah, it's still just a hobby. She just plays with
Excuse
it.
me?
But it's a good hobby. She's good at it.
Excuse me?
She's good at it.
I'm going to correct him.
Go ahead, run those credentials down for the listeners.
Yes, I will correct him for
I
just
said
a
she's
moment.
good at it.
No, I will not say hobby by no means. I am a licensed professional counselor, and I have my master's in clinical mental health counseling.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Say it.
Look, and my undergrad, my bachelor's is in social psychology. So
Ooh.
Go ahead, get them.
come on now,
Rain it
brother,
down.
Mister. I have many degrees than a
Howdy.
thermometer.
So I'm
I'm
Keith.
just saying.
I'm the senior pastor of the Purpose Center Church in the Columbus area, Westerville, and I'm not as accomplished as she, but my
Now you showing out.
that's my calling. That's what God has called me to do. But I do have a day job, a hobby. So, president and CEO of a real estate investment and management firm here locally. So, yeah.
Look at these successful black couples in
I
here.
know.
Boy,
He is a whole hot mess.
the Thursday know some people up in
Man.
here.
Goals, life goals.
That's right. This podcast is respectfully it. So we got people who represent the culture, black love, black success. This is what we do and what we have.
And by the way, we've been married for 28 years.
28 years.
Say that.
Yeah.
28 years.
28.
Yep,
years.
been together for 30.
30 years. Well, ain't that something?
31.
Yes.
I just,
31.
You left off the one.
Yeah, I left off the one.
Well,
So we dated for 3 years before we got married.
Yeah. Okay. Can you not stop taking over?
Oh,
And
no,
let-
it's
let the-
it's
No,
it's
no,
fine.
no, no,
It's
no, no.
fine.
Okay, I was about
So
to
do
say.
we want to work to what are we 8 years this
we'll be
year?
8. Matter of fact,
8 years.
this is
Congratulations.
this is a good way to segue into our moment of shoes because we
Oh,
have
y'all
something.
newlyweds.
Yeah, so because
We're
we have
babies.
something to share with you today.
Okay.
So, first lady, since Pastor disappointed us.
I think he is the first guest that did not.
No, he's not the first.
He isn't. He isn't.
Well, good. I'm
But
glad I'm
that's
not.
okay. Shoes aren't his thing. That's all right.
That's all right, Pastor. We
We're not
love
judging.
you anyway.
We're not
we love
judging.
you anyway. But first lady said she has a pair of shoes on. Go ahead, kick a foot up. She got her Adidas.
I don't know if you can see them, but I got my Adidas on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you said they have a story.
Yes, these Adidas, not necessarily just these, but the brand Adidas has a story.
Okay.
And the reason why it has a story is because growing up, my family and I, well, of course, my parents, we didn't have a lot. And so when I say not a lot, it was one of those things where we shopped where we could. My mom was a seamstress. She sewed most of our outfits for church. With that being said, I remember I begged for a pair of Adidas. They were in the store. My mom was like, no, you're not going to get those shoes. That's way too much. We have a lot of mouths to feed. I'm the oldest out of 6.
Okay.
And with that being said, I got some non-name brand shoes that kind of look like Adidas,
Yeah.
but they were not. So I decided to be creative because one of my hobbies, my actual hobby, is drawing. So I love to draw. Well, I decided to draw a couple of extra lines in the middle of my 2-line
Go ahead.
quote unquote Adidas shoes. Adidas got 3. Well, I gave myself a 3rd one. And the hot mess part was I used a Sharpie. And by the end of the school day, half of that black line had
my
already disappeared. So I adopted the nickname my shoes were called Bobos. So
Yeah.
they started calling
Bubbles
are
make
so
your feet feel fine.
Oh, trust
Bubbles
me,
cost
I know.
$1.99.
Oh, yes. Well, yeah, you don't have to sing the song. Because I had to hear that on the school bus because they were like, it was like one of those things where like, what are those? But they didn't say that.
They said
just-
Bobos.
Yeah, I had some Bobos on, so they gave me the Bobos name. So yeah, so that's, I know it's kind of like a bittersweet. But all I got to say about that is now I can afford as many
There-
pairs
That
of
whole
Adidas.
part.
I got 4 pairs.
There you
Go
go.
ahead.
There we
I'm
started
excited,
started at the Sharpie. Now we here.
right?
That happened to me when I was in high school because I'm from Ohio. We moved to Pennsylvania. So when we was in Pennsylvania, because my dad was in the shoes, and in Pennsylvania there's no sales tax. So in Pennsylvania, I got all the shoes I wanted.
Okay.
So when we moved back to Ohio, I didn't get all the shoes that I wanted. So he bought me these one shoes. They were called Sprints. And they were like, they make shoes that look like, yeah. So there was these Reeboks that everybody was getting. So I saw the Sprints and I got them. And I wore them to school on the bus. They was like, oh, you got the new. I was like, oh, bro, them is Sprints. So they clowned me hard. And I told my dad, they said, what? Took me out, bought me a new pair of shoes. So I was like, okay, cool.
Well, see, you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the struggle was real.
Yeah, and I got some other stuff. I used to have to paint some shoes too, but that's a different story. Yeah, but
I don't think I even know this story.
it's a lot you don't know. But
That's because you're newlywed.
yes, right.
Yeah, that's right.
Give
We're-
me everything up front so that I can make the decision. Now I'm
No,
stuck.
I got you now, chick. Got you now. It's
Oh
stuck.
my goodness.
So, our moment of shoes, we want to share this with you. This is a special episode because this is our birthday. This is hers birthday and our wedding anniversary weekend.
Oh my
Oh, wow.
goodness.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you. I mean, we got a long way to go. We ain't 31 years, but I'll take 8.
yeah.
Well,
we're
happy
going.
birthday.
We're going to be on
and
8.
Happy anniversary
Thank
and
you.
everything else.
So the shoes we want to share
Okay.
are a pair of Chuck Taylors that we wore on our wedding day
Oh.
that a friend of mine painted for us.
Oh, those are so
Oh, wow.
cute.
Yeah. Yeah, and she painted. Her name is on the other one. This one says the Union and has our wedding day. And my friend's name is Lauren Luna.
Hey, Lauren Luna.
She actually lives in Texas now. She lives in Houston,
Okay.
and she's an artist and she's really good. And when we walk out, this big picture right here,
Yeah.
she gave me that, and there's another one upstairs that I bought. So Lauren Luna, I'm giving her a plug. And
Oh, nice.
she was doing house shoes and stuff. Not house shoes, but like high heel shoes. She had her own brand. She had this whole calendar, women's calendar where they had on whatever. But she did the shoes, and she would paint the shoes like art paint. So like the Last Supper.
Oh.
She actually painted that on some shoes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then
Skill.
there's this one painting where the guy's holding his face like Macaulay Culkin.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a priceless art thing. She painted that on some shoes, so like some really
Wow.
nice stuff she painted on shoes.
Wow.
So
Well, I ain't got no skills like that.
No.
Now I said I draw,
So,
but
this is mine.
Oh, I like those.
Yeah, looks like a submarine, don't it?
Big feet.
A submarine.
But yeah, she knows I'm in the Superman
Yeah,
and things
yeah.
like that. So these were our shoes that she did. We
Oh,
wore 'em.
nice.
So you a DC guy?
I'm both, depending on the character.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
But I like what Superman stands for. He takes a beating, but he keeps going, and a lot of other things. So
I like Superman too.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a Marvel guy, I like Superman.
yeah. Lately, the stuff they doing with him, I don't like. But
And Wonder Woman.
This is not a comic episode.
you're right.
Okay. Yes. Right.
Stay on task.
You're right. She says my nerd is showing. So
I'm
Right.
joking. I just had to.
She
get
had
that.
to
heard
reel
just
them
threw that
back
out there.
in.
yeah, I got Superman placemats in my car. But anyway,
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
She
I just happened to like comics too. You know, my favorite is Iron Man, so I just have to put that out there.
But I
is
love
it?
Iron Man. Yeah.
About
Okay.
relationships.
Oh no, it's fine. I was just giving him,
Okay.
giving
No,
him
I'm
the
sorry.
blues.
Okay, yeah, go ahead,
No.
Keith.
Iron Man marries Wonder Woman.
Aw,
Oh,
I have a
love
pair
it.
of Wonder Woman Converse.
really?
Yep.
Yep.
And
She
when I
does.
say Wonder Woman is like all over the Converse.
I want to say, like, I thought I saw a pair. We were somewhere a few years ago,
I've had them for a while.
and I couldn't fit them. I'm like, that sounds familiar to me.
I very seldom wear them because I like the quality of them.
So you need to encase them, like his hip hop Bronx.
Oh,
there you go.
There you go.
that's a
Put them on
thought.
display.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're bringing her over into the shoe world.
Yeah.
I had to wrap my mind around that whole case thing. Yeah. Shoes I can't wear, and I had to wrap my mind around that.
Wear 'em, but I'm just gonna case them.
No, you don't buy a
because
case
they're
and put
authentic.
shoes in and then turn around and wear them. You don't do that.
Those are
No. I mean, if I decide to case them, then. But right
Okay.
now, I'm wearing them.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah. He's talking about yours, not mine. Mine, I'm
Right.
not wearing.
Oh no! I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you. I wouldn't wear those bad boys either.
That's something that goes in a wheel. You know?
What? A will?
Yeah. If
Oh.
you gonna put something in the case, it better go in the wheel.
Okay.
You know, it'd be like
Pass it down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to excuse the Florida dialect. I understand it fully. Yeah, he got that Florida twang.
Yeah. So I had to apologize to your listeners,
But I love them.
depending upon where they're from.
I love
Now
that
you
twang.
got folks that's listening from Florida. They get me.
Yes.
They understand.
You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
But everybody get it on Sunday. They get the Florida twang on Sunday.
Well, let me say this to the new listeners that you're gonna bring to the platform, because I don't want to disrespect your platform or what you got going on, but this right here, these alcohol bottles.
Yeah.
No, we didn't drink those. That's just part of the scene down here. They got sand in them. They just art. No, because I don't want nobody the pastor first lady down there in the bar.
Right.
You
It's
know?
not a bar.
You know, and I gave y'all some bottled water. You know, kind of like shot glasses. What they drinking
Yeah.
down there? It's water.
Yes, it is.
It's water.
So
I didn't
let,
even think of that, but
so
We ain't drinking nothing down here.
You are all good.
yeah, let me just put this out there. We don't care. if you had drunk, you know, if you had drunk them, that's fine. You know, we won't start perusing through the Bible,
Right.
But we don't believe that somebody who drinks alcohol is going to go to hell.
That's
Right
right.
now,
Right.
you just going to drink alcohol in excess and it's ruining your life. Now you are sinning. But people drink all the time. They drink wine. They drink this stuff. That's fine. So yeah, I know what I just said is probably going to ruffle some feathers,
Exactly.
especially with the black church.
Exactly.
But that's okay. I can handle that. I'm from Florida.
And trust me, he loves a challenge. So.
Yeah. And if truth be told, a lot of them are in the pulpit going home drinking anyway.
well, that part.
There you go.
So
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was on TikTok with one of my a Florida pastor actually.
Oh,
and
yep.
He took his. They were actually the Garrisons. They were on the last episode, and he said, "Oh, I took my wife to the Chris Brown concert. You know, she
Yeah.
likes Chris Brown." And we were joking around about her taking a picture with Chris Brown, which she didn't do. But somebody came in there and said, kind of pastor goes to a Chris Brown concert. Man, he lit that guy up. He said, so I was like, I thought he was talking to me, so I just got quiet. I'm like, bro, what's the problem? He said, nah, it wasn't you, bro. It's just somebody. It was somebody he knew. But he said, you know, people always trying to attack pastors for this, and that.
Yep.
He said,
Exactly.
we're people. He said, the guy's a performer. I like his music.
That's right.
That don't mean I do anything that's in his music. He said, I went to the concert as my wife's husband. We had a good time and we left. So,
listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, and my wife can tell you, when it comes to music, there's not too many people on the planet that can sit that don't know that can talk more about music than me. I love music,
Yeah.
all genres,
yeah.
right? And I listen to it, and so, but I do have this time where I have to feed my spirit,
Right.
and I do that.
Right.
But I listen when my wife met me. This is a true story. I had back in the day when they had CDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had over 2,000 CDs.
Oh my goodness!
I just love music. Just had them.
It was a bit obsessive.
I
Made me a
collected
little
them.
nervous. Made me a little nervous.
Did you have it in the car visor?
They were
No. He had an alphabetical display.
Well, that's
Yeah.
how my tower was like that, but I didn't have that many CDs.
Yeah.
It blew my mind. I asked him if he was okay. I said, "Are you serious with this?" And
If
then I remember. I'm sorry. But real quick, I took one out one time, and I was looking at it, and then I stuck it back in the wrong place. He jumped. He's like, you got to alphabetize them correctly.
Yeah. So if I would take some CDs with me in my car, I would pull them out, put them in a little. I had a case that covered like 4 or 5. That's all I need.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna play my music, and then I'm gonna bring it back, put it back in the case. So I love music.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wow. So
And
where
yes,
are the CDs
I will
now?
go to a concert.
Now that we're virtual and all that, so do you still have all the CDs, or is
No,
everything
so-
digital?
It's a whole nother story in itself.
This is a good story about spiritual evolution, right?
Yeah.
So I grew up in the church, and I grew up in this strict Pentecostal church where, you cannot play sports, you can't listen to music, you can't do any of that, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but like a lot of us, it was, you kind of stray away, but at this particular point in my life, I really was serious about God, and I was coming back into church. I was getting close to God, and I literally would come home and sit in my little chair. Then I'd be reading the Bible, true story, listening to Babyface. Whip Appeal, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what was getting poured into that spirit of his.
And so Stephanie, she would come and she saw that I had this call on my life. She would tell me, you know what, you need to get rid of that music. And I was like, I'm not getting rid of my music. It's not a sin to listen to music. I'm listening to R. Kelly back then. He was popular,
Back when he's telling on himself.
Right.
Yeah. That part.
Yeah.
All sorts of, mint condition, all sorts of Levert, all sorts of music. And so one day, literally, one night, one evening, I was sitting up there and I was trying to get into my word, and I was reading, and I heard the Holy Spirit say, you know what, you need to get rid of this music. Yeah. I'm like, Stephanie. And so I got up and I started gathering all those CDs, and I started taking them to the dumpster there at my apartment complex. And I started throwing them away. And my neighbor next to me said, hey, man, you throwing them away? Because he knew my collection,
Can I have
right?
it?
I had stuff that was unopened, that was autographed.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had like this huge Michael Jackson set, man, that had autographs and stuff on it. Yeah.
You should have kept the autograph.
Wow.
And so,
He should have.
Don't listen to him.
yeah, I was a big Prince dude. I love Prince.
Yeah, me too.
So I started throwing them away. I said, well, man, just come get them. You can have them. No problem. So he came and he got them all. But what that did for me was it got me to a point to where I can get real close to God, and I connected to God on levels that I really can't articulate. Right. And I think it springboarded me into my purpose to where I'm at today. Because today I can listen to secular music, and it doesn't have me. You know what I mean? I think the music had me then, but now I can listen to it and it doesn't have me.
Right.
And so that I had to evolve to that point. So in other words, I had to go through this wilderness experience to spend some time with God, so He can mature my spirit first. So it's kind of hard for Him to do that if I'm reading the Bible and listening to Whip Appeal.
Yeah.
Well,
I just thought, well, at least it wasn't Luke.
Oh, I had some Luke too. I had two. Being a Florida boy, I had 2 Live Crew. Oh man, yeah. Oh yeah. It was staple. Matter of fact, I had an autograph vinyl of Luke Too Like his first record, their first record that came out. So
get
I won't tell you what the title is,
Yeah,
but
Well,
you had to get rid of that one. Yeah, you had to get rid of that one. Well, the second part of this thing that we want to share this with you here, and then we're just going to move into our conversations. Like I said, this is the Her's birthday weekend, and actually, hold on. It's tomorrow.
Oh,
So
telling my business.
I didn't tell nobody you was 60 years old.
oh,
So
okay. All right, no.
What are you doing?
I got you something.
You got me
I
something.
did. A little something.
Okay.
Oh, what is it?
Little parfait. There you go.
Oh, look at there.
Look at that.
Give it
y'all.
to me. Give it to me.
Happy birthday, my love.
Thank you.
happy birthday, happy
cute.
birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. She's not gonna eat it, but I'll eat it.
Thank you, dearest.
You're welcome.
I don't know if anybody caught that, but he just literally said he's gonna give you something
He's gonna eat.
that he's gonna eat.
I'll share.
Yeah.
I'll get a bite.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. All
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So, Pastor, First Lady, Pastor and Co-Pastor, Madam Co-Pastor,
You are welcome to call me just Stephanie.
Miss Stephanie.
Thank you.
We're really happy that you're here to further this conversation that we have about in sickness and health. And for the new viewers, this is our fourth season of this podcast, the Thursday podcast. And the season was called In Sickness and Health. And we kind of just expanded on that part of the wedding vows because there's all these conversations about this in relationship, that in relationship, but no one's talking about this particular part. When you get in a relationship, you're married, wedding vows, and sickness and health, and what do you do or how do you cope when your spouse, as you get older, especially when your spouse or your partner becomes ill? How do you press through that? And there's, along the journey that we were doing it, we kind of moved into different levels of in sickness and health. So we got to, we talk about physical health, in sickness and in spiritual health, and then we even got to in sickness and in mental health. And these are all health conditions and issues that challenge relationships, not just because somebody's sick or, if you're older, have dementia or things like that. My father succumbed to cancer, but just anything. So we talked to a couple ladies about menopause, which was a very interesting conversation.
It was.
And
Yeah.
as a man, me and my wife, and we're on this part of our journey. How do I cope with that? What do I look for? How do I understand and
Be supportive.
be supportive of her whenever she
Right,
starts to
right.
go through that? And then after that, talked to a gentleman about erectile dysfunction. And that was a very good conversation because erectile dysfunction, if you have erectile dysfunction, it doesn't mean you're less than a man. There could be certain things going on with your body that you don't know about. Are you alcoholic? Are you on drugs? Are you stressed? Or maybe you might need a you might need a surgical procedure. There's a lot of things, but as men, we don't go get help. We're afraid to go to the doctor for many, many reasons. And then I brought in a woman counselor and a male counselor. We talked about the sickness and the mental health and those challenges. And her name's Michaela. She's now a sister of mine now. And she just kind of went through and she let me know the difference between mental health and emotional health. Because she said sometimes when people say, oh, you need some mental help, it's not mental. It might be emotional.
That's right.
And she said when you throw everybody in that umbrella, some people are missing out on the help that they need.
That's right.
So we really went to, I think that was a 2-part because it went like almost 2 hours.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she suggested the next gentleman, Brandon, he was a counselor too. And he and I talked and we kind of talked about how men aren't getting the necessary help.
That's right.
And a lot of men, because there was an NBA player who said something about, well, I talked to my barber, that's all I need. And we just discussed just how careless that can be.
That's
because you might be getting something off your chest, but you're not getting the information you need.
That's right.
And he said it's good that they're talking, but we still need to go and get that extra help in what's going on in our lives. So those are just some of the topics that we talked about, and now we're just to this point now where we're just bringing on couples, talking to them about their challenges. And the last couple we had, they were ministers, and they talked about certain things. Oh, and the mental and spiritual health. Spiritual health. I'm sorry, I forgot that. I had my cousin on there, and he talked about the 6 steps that he uses when he's telling people before you get married. And he said he talks about finances and this. And he said, if the woman makes more money, are you mentally capable of dealing with that? Can you deal with that as a man? And he said he had a couple. The guy said, he said no. He said, I know what your wife makes. I know what she does. Mm-hmm. But those are also challenges that we have, and just things that a lot of things we need to think about. Some things that shouldn't matter, but when it comes to our health, these are things that we internalize and that can affect a lot that we do. So he and I and another lady I had on, she kind of went to quite a few things. I let her take over. So she went on, but it was a good conversation. I just let her take the whole show. And she just said, she really talked about couples being one body is really what she spoke on about. And God being the Father. And she said, when we became one, we're one spiritually, and God is a Father, and that's who we follow. So I had really great conversations, and anybody new listening, I hope you go back and just see what we were talking about, and I hope something helps anybody. So that's what we're here for. We're just here to help. So we have Pastor and First Lady here, and we just want to talk. Definitely, we want to talk about the Purpose Center Church, your church, Purpose Center, and just get some more details on some of the auxiliary and the programs you have going on, and definitely some marriage and some spiritual wellness that you can give us.
Okay.
So, the Purpose Center Church is a relatively young church. So we're 9 years old, and we're in Westerville, Ohio. My wife and I, we've been around ministry for quite some time, right? As you heard me say earlier, and we at one point both worked in ministry full time at a large church back in El Paso, Texas. And so I was an assistant pastor, an associate pastor, campus pastor. My wife worked in the office. Yeah. And so Destiny Church with our Bishop Richard L. Johnson and Adele Johnson.
Pastor Adele.
And so I worked in probably I did a lot in church. I just said this on Sunday that you name it, I probably did it in church. Right? I started out cleaning the bathrooms. I parked cars. I was I was over the youth department at one point. I sang in the choir, which I can't sing.
Did he?
I can't sing.
We've heard that story.
I'm probably the only guy that got fired out the choir.
And we ended up making him the choir chaplain.
Yeah, they created a position called choir chaplain.
We still gave him something to do, but
just not singing.
It was within his gift.
I love it.
It went along with what God was calling him to do, which was pastoring, not singing. Bless your heart.
So we came here and we launched the Purpose in the church. And so one of the things that I like to point out about the Purpose in the church is his name. Years and years ago, even before the church started, when I knew I was going to be a pastor, the bishop asked me a question. He said, "When you become a pastor, what would you name the church?" And when he first asked me, I didn't know. And then the question just kind of just lingered in my mind. And I remember being at church one day, and God was showing me, I was looking around, I was seeing people that were just coming to church, but was not engaged in church. right? They would just come in just to check the box. That's what good people do, right? We check the box. We go to church, and that's it. So we can say we went to church, but they really wasn't engaged. And they'll come, they won't come, they'll fall off of this and that. And so I was asking God, why is that? Why do we have so many lethargic people that come to church and they do it for decades? And God spoke in my spirit because they lack purpose. And so they come and they turn it into a me complex, right? It's about what church can do for them, right? And especially in 2025, you hear this a lot. Right? Well, I got to go to church to get my word, or I got to watch online to get me a word. Speak to me so I get it. It's all about me. That's so far from the gospel to it's not even funny. Jesus Christ never intended for this to be somebody to get a word to go out and just internalize that word and live their life with. Even though you can get a word to help you in a time of need, but the end result has always been the word is designed to shape you, to change you, to transform you, so you can walk in your purpose that God has ordained for. And when you start walking in that purpose, now you come alive again. That's why we have so many dead Christians in church, because they're not operating in their purpose. And so, hence, the purpose in the church.
All right.
And so we've been growing. We do have a lot of ministries that we offer. Well, not a lot, because we're not that big. So my wife loves being around women, so she started our women's group. We together, one of the things that we did in church back in El Paso is, after 5 years of being married, the bishop came to us and asked us to take over the couples ministry. 5 years of marriage. Yeah. I think my memory could be kind of a little foggy, but I think he asked us the day after we had a fight. And I was like, Bishop, you don't understand. We can't. What can we offer? But at the time, and this is huge church. I mean, we're talking 3,000 members, right? Yeah. And so at the time, the marriage ministry was on a decline, and he wanted to see it come up, and it was just a few people showing up. And so he said, I see the anointing and calling on you guys, and you guys will be all right. And he's good for doing stuff like that. Just throw it out there and give you no other context than that. So we took over just a few couples. By the time we left to move to Ohio, it was up to a couple hundred. Wow. So we've been working with couples for a long, long time, and it's my wife's passion, actually, to work with couples, and at all stages, whether it's premarital, whether it's after they've been married, right up to working with couples that we've worked with couples that have actually had divorce papers sitting on the desk, ready to go, and we've talked them off the ledge. And so, so we do that. We have a men's ministry, as you heard Joe just talk about the boardroom, and so we're kind of reinventing that, and we call it the boardroom for a particular reason, because every man wants to be right. A shot caller, right? They want to be a baller, right? And so I feel like, in order to be the man that you are calling, that God has called you to be that shot caller, that baller, or whatever, it starts with your relationship with God. But we don't want the men's ministry just to be just all about, okay, let's get transformed. We want to talk about things that really matter to men as well. Yeah. We want to talk about business, and how we can help each other, to have an economic impact in our community. We want to talk about mentorship. We want to talk about relationships, and so it's going to encompass a lot. obviously we have a curriculum and we talk about God, but there'll be some times where we don't break open the Bible. Let's just get together as men, and let's really talk about some of those things that we're going through. Even though I feel like there's not a problem that a man go through that cannot be found in the Bible, but sometimes men just want to just be men. Right? Let's just watch football and tell some lies for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll do things like that. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna ask my wife to chime in here, and she could.
Before she do that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, please go ahead.
I wanted to let you know our last session was hitting some points with me. I don't say much because I like to internalize stuff before and then think about it before I make a move on it. Because I even haven't talked to her about it. But the conversation we were having about being the leading man spiritually, resonates. Because when you say like most men go to church because their wife told them to, or most men go to church because the women are there, and that's not how we're supposed to function as the head of the household, spiritually or any other way. So those are the type of conversations that we're having. You also talked about having to swallow your pride a little bit. In order to get ahead, step back to get ahead, which is one of the things that I'm dealing with now. But I think groups like that are important and essential because a lot of men don't have any place to speak freely like that.
Right.
It's always, I just go to the barbershop. You can't just go to the barbershop. Right. The barber got his own problems.
Right.
But when you have a spiritual setting and you're around a bunch of men who may have or may currently have the same problems you have, and then you can put, like you said, any problem can be solved by something in the Bible, then you got somebody direct you to this, to that. Things make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, so that if a lot of men who have a God conscience understood that things could be transformed in their home and they take their rightful place as a priest in the home, right? A lot of men are doing things what I call they're just doing it the hard way. They just hitting their head up against the wall, but they're doing things that society has said, hey, this is what a good man looks like, right? They'll go to school, they'll educate themselves, they will go out, they'll work a job, and they look for stretch opportunities so they can move up, or they'll start a business and all that. But then they hit this point in life where things starts to get hard, right? Maybe the business has a downturn, or maybe they get laid off, or whatever the case may be, and then that starts to affect the home, and then they're trying to gain this traction, but it's not getting anywhere. They don't understand that there's an anointing that when the man takes his rightful place, and it just slides down from his head all the way to the house, and everything that's in that house, right, becomes blessed. Right. And it becomes a thing that makes life a little bit easier. Right. And that was the crux of the conversation that we was having. That I want every man to really understand that you shouldn't. And I know we live in a world where some people might think that what I'm saying is a little bit chauvinist, but I can pull out several scriptures to show that when a man takes his rightful place, right, there'll be something special. God will honor that, and that we shouldn't live in a world where our wives or fiancés or girlfriends are saying, hey, are you going to church today? Are we going to church today? Right. And then based off of that answer, and God forbid if you got kids, right? Because now the kids get confused, right? They don't know, right? It's like, well, we went to church sometimes we didn't. Sometimes we went, but when the man says, he draws a line in the sand and says, listen, this is the type of house this is going to be, right? And this is what we're going to do. So, and God will honor that every single time. As for me and my house,
that's right,
we're going to serve the Lord.
And I'm just going to add to that, because Keith has taken his rightful place. I'm blessed because of that. I know first and foremost, my blessings will always come from God.
Yeah, I'm
But-
just a resource.
But because of this resource,
Right.
I have been blessed tremendously. Just him being obedient and walking in what God has called him to walk in.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, it makes my life a lot easier because we're not beating our heads up against the wall. He's doing what God has called him to do. And me being, and I am going to say this word, which is probably going to make some people cringe.
Oh, well.
But me being submissive
Oh, that part.
to him.
Yes.
Yes.
We talk about that.
Okay.
Talk
Okay.
about
Well,
that.
let me tell you, I still have a voice.
Right.
Me being
Right.
submissive does not mean that I don't have a voice. It just means that I am honoring what God has called me to
Exactly.
do.
Right.
So that's all that means.
Exactly, and that's how we talk about it, because that was one of our conversations we had previously, and we even pulled out the verse. Was that in Acts?
Don't get me though.
Oh,
Making it
forgive
up.
us. I forget. I'm sorry,
No.
but it's about being a submissive wife.
Yeah.
And in scripture, it says about the wife being submissive, but it also says has the husband. You have to honor your wife as well.
That's right.
Treat her, love her as you love yourself.
That's right.
So being submissive
right
doesn't
with the
mean you just
church.
bow down and do what he says.
Right.
You support him, you be there, and then he needs to put you on the pedestal too,
Well,
because
trust me, yes.
he's the head, he's the lead,
Yes.
and if he wants his wife to submit to or follow what he's doing,
That's
he has
right.
to be a leader in the home,
That's right.
and so that's what we try to teach and the message we get out, because like I said, there's just these scenarios and things that's going out, and it's getting a lot of relationships messed up today.
Yeah.
It starts off by saying, husbands, love your wife.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's the start. That's the
right.
start.
Yeah.
But then you had to break that down a little bit and say, okay, what's the definition of love? What does that love look like? And how should that love look like? Well, we don't have to go no further than Jesus Christ, right? Love looked like forgiving.
That's right.
Love looked like sacrifice. Love looked like sacrifice unto death.
Yeah.
Love looked like protecting. Love looked like pouring into, teaching, and all of that good stuff. That's what love looks like. And so when a wife feels that a husband is doing all those things and being this example of Jesus Christ, it makes it a lot easier
Right.
for her to say, you know what? Yeah, I follow this.
Yep.
It's when the man is all over the place, right?
Right.
One day is this, one day is that. One day I'm gonna have a barbecue business. The next day I'm gonna go back to school. What is it that you want to do when you grow up, sir?
Yeah.
And then let's go
Yeah.
in that direction. I'm gonna tell you a story. When we got ready to move from Texas to Ohio, right? The prevailing thought was that when we get here, obviously we were going to start the church, but I knew it was time. I knew it was time for me to start a church, but I didn't want to start it there in El Paso, and the bishop and I talked about that. Out of respect for, I feel like if anybody in El Paso, if you want to go to church, you should go to this church. Right. So if I start one across the street, no,
right.
I don't want you coming there. Go to the
Yeah.
main church. So I said, and we were not from El Paso because I was in the military. She's a military brat. So we, all our family's gone. So we could look at moving somewhere. So I had worked in corporate America. Worked my way up. I was a vice president before I stopped working, going into ministry, and so I had a particular set of skills, and so I told Bishop, I'm gonna brush my resume off. I'm gonna go back into corporate America, and at least I could find a job, right, that would sustain while we're building the ministry. And so I did just that. I won't bore you with a lot of troubles that I went through with getting that. But anyway,
I don't know if we have time.
right, we get this phone call. We get this phone call to somebody saw somebody saw me on LinkedIn, and I get this phone call about Columbus, Ohio. I'm like, I had never been to Columbus, Ohio. I had never been to Ohio. Obviously, I know where it's at on the map, I think. And so I tell Steph, I'm like, Columbus, Ohio. So I went to the interview, and then the phone interview, and then they said, we want to fly you up. And I asked my wife, I said, they said, do your wife want to come? And I said, babe, do you want to go with me to Columbus, Ohio? She's like, no.
How dare you? How dare you?
She's like, it's okay.
The only reason why I did not want to come is because this is my thought process. Because of the relationship that I have with God, first and foremost, and my husband being the head of the house. Mm-hmm. I said, if the Lord is leading you this direction,
yeah,
and I felt peace about it when he presented it to me. Mm-hmm. I told him I don't need to see Columbus. There was no point in me going, because I believe that, we've been together for quite some time, and I know that when he hears the voice of the Lord, things are going to work out.
Yeah,
I didn't feel any type of feelings about coming to visit or not coming to visit. It was just like, if this is where God's leading you, let's do it.
Okay. I thought you were going to be like, everybody thinks Ohio is just like a farm town. I'm like, we're not a farm town.
No, by no means. I actually love Ohio. From where I come from, there was
I'm ready to go.
Desert
Such a hater.
Desert town, no greenery.
We both love Ohio.
And I've adjusted. I'm enjoying it.
All the seasons.
All the seasons.
Yeah.
I don't complain.
They change every 2 days.
Right.
Yes. Look, that's exciting to me. Trust.
But how many, now, remind you, the company was going to pay for her, right? It was free.
Yeah.
How many wives, I don't know too many wives would be like, well, let me go on this trip. Let me see what this is all about. Right? She's like, no, if this is God, I trust you. Mm-hmm. So I get on the plane, I come up here, and when I get off, I felt God's presence. And I called her when I got. I said, "Babe, there's something special about this place." I think, and I haven't had to interview or nothing, right? And so I come down, and the company was, they really trying to woo me. They sent a limousine, and had a little thing up there, and the driver and whatnot. So they drove me around the city a little bit, take me to the hotel. Yeah,
in Columbus.
Wow. The next day, I go into the interview. The interview lasts like maybe 7 minutes, and the hiring manager, who was, and this is a Fortune 500 company, by the way, he was like, you know what? Let's just walk around, and he said, let's see if the CEO is in. So we go up there to the CEO. The CEO get ready to go play golf. Hey, you want to go play golf?
Wow.
So we end up playing.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, we ended up playing golf, and the rest is history. And a second time came around. After they sent me the offer, they said, do you want us to fly your wife up? And y'all come back up here so your wife can see. Yeah. I was like, no. If I trust the God in you, and I'm like, God, this better be you, because I'm about to move my whole family to Columbus, Ohio.
We're glad you're here.
I'm happy.
So I found what I was looking. I knew the scripture, I just couldn't remember. So it's Ephesians.
Yes.
Yeah,
5:25.
Well, they could have told you that, but I'm glad you looked it
Yes,
up.
I was going to share that.
We gotta let our people know.
Yes.
We've taught, and he's right.
Yeah.
He's right. It starts, husband, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself up for the church.
Right.
Yes.
That's what it means.
Yes.
So we're going to turn it over to Miss Stephanie so she can talk about her women's ministry.
Okay.
Boss, right?
Yes.
Okay, break it down for us.
Yes, Boss is Blessed Obedient Saved Sisters. We're a women's ministry. We meet every second Saturday of the month, and it varies. We have a curriculum as well, and sometimes we'll go with our curriculum, but then we just go with the direction that God is leading us. So right now we're doing the Armor of God with Priscilla Schreier, and as you know, her curriculum in itself is absolutely amazing. If anyone out there, want to pick it up, It's an amazing, amazing book. But what we just do is kind of like with the men, not exactly the same, but we meet and that's pretty much it. And we talk about the word, talk about our challenges as women, the role that we carry in the house, and how a lot of times it's difficult for us to get that spiritual connection because we wear so many different hats. And so at the end of the day, it's all about making sure that our spiritual man is fed and we are full, full with the word of God. So that way we can be able to sustain, which kind of goes into the women's conference, Strengthened by Grace. Yeah. And that all came about is because we need God's grace. And that's the only thing that's going to allow us to be, to remain strong in him through his grace and his mercy. And without that, we can't do the things that we do. And so along with that, that conference, we had the theme was the story of the prodigal son, how he left and he wanted to do his own thing, but then he came back to the Father, which is who gave him, wrapped his arms around him and just showed him the love, although he strayed. And it was just about, sometimes as women, we may stray, may not be physically, it may be mentally, emotionally, we stray. But at the same time, God is there to embrace us. And so, I'm not going to belabor this, but we do outings. We have outings outside of the church. And in September, instead of us meeting for that second Saturday, we're actually going to take a boxing class. And so we're going to do fitness.
Okay.
Fitness with boxing. And it's going to be real fun. So we do different things out in the community. I want us to tap in more into like the volunteer portion. So we're starting to look into more of that as our women's group. But yes, BOSS is our women's ministry, Blessed Obedient Saved Sisters, and that's what we do.
Yeah, and I will say I was at the retreat and it was awesome. I was down and I was, just spiritually drained, emotionally drained. Yeah. And we were there for what? Was it like 2-3 hours?
Yeah.
It was wonderful. Like I came out, I felt fed, energized, wanting to share with my husband, what we learned. And it was just very uplifting. And I really enjoyed the, writing down the Post-its and hanging them up. Like it was a wonderful thing. So ladies, if you're listening, you're in the area, get involved with the Bosses Ministry. Yes. It's very uplifting. So I just wanted to put that little plug in. Thank I experienced it.
Yeah, that sounds great. I think that's been when you have the conversation about attendance in church declining and where's the black church in the community. Yeah. I think what like the things that we're doing and like what you said, like go out boxing. Yes. I think a lot of that stuff is missing.
I hear you. When
I'm from Canton, Ohio, and in my generation, when we grew up, all the churches had a volleyball league. So all the moms, all the women of the church would play volleyball every week. And the kids, and the kids,
alcohol bottles.
Yeah. And the kids would be on the stage. We would all be on the stage doing our thing, playing around, and there'd be a couple dads just sitting there watching the games. And back in those days, I think Canton was a wonderful place, but as time went by, a lot of that died out. Yep. And you can see in those communities how those communities are deteriorating. And I see like a lot of churches are still trying to get back to that, but they're struggling to do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, this Sunday, we're closing our doors, and we are meeting at the park just for food, fun, and fellowship.
Yep. So no church service.
No church service.
Okay. No word, no singing. We're just going to get to know each other outside of the confines of church. Because whenever we're in church, it's like, you're there for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we don't really get a chance to know each other.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
that's
what we're going to be doing. Yep.
Not too many churches are closed up on a Sunday, but we.
Yep.
But
no, we're not collecting an offering at the park either.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's another thing. A lot of people are stressed out about church, like what to wear, how you should dress, or I don't have this, or I don't want to be judged. But I think there was a time. Well, there definitely was a time when that was happening.
Yeah.
And even my dad's church, when he was alive, my grandfather had to, as old school as he was, he had to tell him about, why attendance is so low when it comes to clothing.
Yeah.
So we started to have Come As You Are Sunday.
Yeah.
So people come in polo and jeans, more people was there. And Pastor and I talked about that because, like, when I came to your guys' church, I was kind of like, what's going on here? Because I'm used to dressing. I'm like, so it must be Come As You Are Sunday. Then I come the next Sunday. I'm like, so is this every Sunday or what? So
Come as you are every Sunday.
Right.
Every Sunday.
And we mean it.
Right. So, and talking to my mother because she's a spiritual guy. She helps me understand some things because I'll bounce some things off. My father's not here, so I'll bounce some things off of her. And she said, "Don't let that stray you from who you are."
That's right.
And she said, "Because you never know. Some men don't know fashion etiquette for this and this and this." And she said, "You can be a vessel for that as well because that's also something we do on our other side."
Yeah.
So she said, "Don't let something like that stray you because they're in church. That's what they want. They want people in church. It doesn't matter what you have on and things like that."
Right. And he doesn't even remember what I told him. What did I tell you?
So,
See?
So-
And I told him, and I was like, it doesn't matter what people are wearing. If he's teaching the word and is speaking to your spirit,
That's right.
that's what it's about. Like,
Right.
it doesn't matter if somebody comes in and flip-flops or basketball shorts. Like,
right.
if your spirit is getting fed, doesn't matter.
right, because I'm adjusting to the new church.
Yeah.
I will
hear
say
you.
that. I grew up under my dad, my grandfather, so I'm adjusting to some of the new things. But some of the stuff I see, I'm like, no, we can't do that.
I get it. I grew up PAW, and it was one of those things where you come dressed.
Yep.
I'm not saying that if you didn't come dressed that you will stand out, but at the end of the day, we chose to set that expectation when people come to the church, whatever they're wearing. It's not about a fashion
Doesn't
show.
matter. It
Right.
isn't.
It's about what's in the heart.
Absolutely.
And these people come and they're broken. And if we start looking down on them because they're not dressed to the nines, it's like we can be hindering them from receiving something that God has for them.
Right.
Yeah,
You don't
so-
know people struggle. Like,
Right.
they're coming because they need encouragement. They need a word.
That's
And
right.
that's why I was like, it doesn't matter. If you got me shouting and screaming, like, then speaking in my spirit, I'm fine.
We love it.
our the most criticism that we received over this particular point has not been people who were unchurched or people that were kind of trying to find their way. They know about God or whatever. Those people never have criticized us. It's always been the people who, quote unquote, grew up in the church.
Always.
Yeah.
All right. And so sometimes I will wear a suit.
Yeah.
All right. It just depends on how I feel. But I felt like if I'm going to tell the church, come as you are, I had to set the example.
Right.
Right. And if they come in and say, what's come as you are, church, and they come in jeans, but they see me in a suit, it might make them feel some type of way.
Right.
So every now and then I will throw on a suit just to keep it all.
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, mix it up.
Yeah,
So
mix it up a
this
little
is I even, a couple times a year, I even throw on a robe. I got a bunch. I got some beautiful robes. I put on a robe. Right. So for those traditionalists,
Right.
right, that want to see that, and so I would definitely do that. So it doesn't. There's a lot of things that we do that people who quote unquote grew up in the church would be like, I can't believe they do that. My wife said the activities that they do. One of the things that I've done with the men that they absolutely love is because of my military background. I won't go into a lot of it, but I'm a gun enthusiast. Right. I take them to the range.
Oh no.
And so he was like, "You a pastor? How can you have a gun? You're the very one I want to shoot."
He does not mean that.
So
He does not mean that. He does not mean that.
not today.
No, he does not mean that.
But if I had a
Next
dime,
question.
if if I had a dime for every time me and some of these men got together and we went out there and we we would typically break bread, have breakfast. My wife got a phrase from another church called Bibles and Bullets, and so we would we would break bread and then we'd go shoot. Right? If I had a dime for every time there was a breakthrough or I was able to pour into a man, I would be rich. Right? Because we're doing something that drew them in, that they like,
Right.
and it breaks the ice to talk about,
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, there's a few questions I do want to hit on to make sure our listeners get this good information. So I'll start with, how do you stay spiritually aligned during seasons of stress, illness, or transition?
Individually, as a couple.
Both.
Okay. All right. You can go first.
We've been through. I've been pretty blessed with my health, and my wife has had some challenges.
That's me. I'm challenged,
And,
Hot Mess Express.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say the absolute thing that I never did was took a day off from church. And I'm not saying it because I'm a pastor. I'm saying that because there's something inherent about being in the presence and the body to where you could be fed at the time in which you needed to be fed because you're going through so much and you're pouring out. And a part of your purpose is to take care of the person that God has given you. And so when you're ministering to them, then something or someone else has to minister to you. And so I stayed connected, but in staying connected, I made sure that I ministered to her. I made sure that I understand what she needed. I understand. I mean, if I needed to take time off work, I was there. I did those things. But, and we prayed together. There was times I had to lay hands on her. Just recently, one of the most scariest times of our lives, and I say recent, just last year.
It's going on 2 years now.
Yeah, she had a condition that was pretty routine, but it just went sideways, and she ended up getting this infection, and then she got really sick, and she was in so much pain. One day I was at the house. We was at the house and so much pain to where I had to call 911, and I had to. We was upstairs. I figured, I called 911. Let me get her downstairs so when they come in, they could put her on the gurney and we could. They could take her out. And so I'm getting her, and she's going out. I mean, she's going out. And as I'm walking down the stairs, I got her in my arms, and I had to pray. I had to pray right then, right there, and I said, God, no, I need you in this instant, right? I don't know how. I assume the paramedic and all of them was moving as fast as they could, but it was not fast enough for what I needed.
Right.
But thanks be unto God, you see, she's here, beautiful and everything.
Yes.
And so as she was going out, she came back. She when she was talking to me at this point, she was really incoherent. By the time the paramedics got there, she was coherent. She could answer their questions. Nothing but the power of God.
Absolutely.
Nothing but the power of God. But I go back to this. I never, a couple other health incidents where she had on a Sunday morning. I make sure she was taken care of. I said, babe, I got to go to church. All right. Most people are like, well, I'm going to stay home and take care of my wife. No, I'm going to get up early, make sure she's taken care of, and then, because I'm only going to be gone for a couple of hours.
Right.
Right? And come back, because I got to make sure that I stay connected. So that's how I attack it.
Yes.
Right.
But along with staying connected in that manner, one of the biggest things is to make sure that I am cultivating my relationship. And the same with Keith. We're doing that before adversity comes, before trying times come.
Yeah.
And with that being said, it's doing the things that we know what to do.
Right.
Not just as a couple, but individually. Growing our spiritual man and making sure that we're fasting, we're praying, we're reading our Bible, we're tapping into worship. You know, Keith said that he loves music, but when it's time to turn that music off and hear from God, there's usually something, and I can usually feel it in my spirit, and I know he could speak to this as well. But that's really what it's about, making sure that we are strong spiritually. Because when adversity comes, because the only thing that's right, because it's going to happen.
Right.
And I didn't know that I was going to get that sick. I've had health challenges throughout my life, but the most recent one that Keith is talking about, it just kind of came on just like that. I woke up, I was in excruciating pain, couldn't even move, and I was on the floor. And so in that moment, only thing I could think about was Jesus.
Right.
And so it's about knowing who to call on in that moment when you need them most.
Right. I love it. It just makes me think about, you continue to praise and worship the Lord,
That's right.
not just when times are good.
That's right.
But when times are bad, so you're better prepared for it.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. Yep.
I like
And
that.
this is where Chris has missed it, right? In your walk, there's a such thing as practical application, right? You know this word, you talk about this word, you're dancing around church, you're talking in tongues, doing all this, but how do you apply that to your life?
Right. Yeah.
In that instance, I was losing my wife. I had to apply all this stuff that I talk about, that I say that I am, I had to apply it at that instant.
Yeah.
Right? And I had to make the devil back up. So I didn't have time to even call my bishop. I had to apply this.
That's right.
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Okay.
So,
So I want to just tap into the longevity of your relationship. Like you guys have been together for a very long time, and we just don't see that as much nowadays. So can you just give some advice on how have you been able to do it? Like, let's just give good information to our listeners about what goes into keeping a marriage successful, being together for such a long time through the good, bad, and the ugly. Because it's like people pay all this money for these extravagant weddings and then they're divorced within 6 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to speak on that one.
Yes, please.
Yes. I'm going to say it like this. Grace. We want grace, but we have to know how to extend it. And I have grace when it comes to Keith. Because, I know, people are so funny. They see him behind the pulpit, but they forget that he's my husband first.
Right.
And they see me in the church, and they forget that I'm still a wife.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, we're human. We're going to do stuff that's going to get on each other's nerves.
Right.
And we're going to have our intense fellowships. That's what I call them. I don't call them arguments. I call them intense fellowships. We're going to have those moments. But at the end of the day,
fellowships.
it's about me knowing, and a couple tips for those who are viewing and even listening. A couple tips is one is to forgive. We're all imperfect.
Right.
And we're living in a fallen world. It's like no man's perfect.
Right.
Forgive. And don't let the sun go down on your wrath.
Absolutely.
That means if you guys are going to have some intense fellowship moments, don't take it to bed with you. I hear some people say sometimes that I'd rather sleep it off and wake up with a fresh mind.
How you're going to wake up, sir or ma'am?
There you go. You don't know if your day is going to end in that moment when you close your eyes.
Right.
It's like, get it right. And even if you have to walk away, it's okay to walk away. That doesn't mean jump in your car and drive away.
No.
That means separate for a moment till you can get a cool head and then come back together and talk about it. Because Keith and I, we learned all of these things from our bishop and our co-pastor. And it's one of those things where they have an extravagant marriage. I mean, their marriage is amazing. 51 years, 52 years, somewhere up there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then along with that, my
Over half a
parents
century.
been married for 50 something years.
Yeah.
And so we have great examples
Right.
that we can glean from. But those are some of the things, and learn how to not be selfish. And so in those moments where we're trying to build our life together, we have to apply these things. It don't feel good, but we have to do them in order for us to remain together and have a good marriage.
Yeah.
Not just what people see on the outside, but behind closed doors. I'm not punching him and he's not punching me
Yeah.
and calling me names.
Right.
We love being around each other. This
Right.
is my best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I definitely mean that. This is my best friend. And I know sometimes he may want me to scoot on along and find a woman or something to hang out with.
Right.
Because I'm like, Keith, you want to come with me to this place?
Yep.
But yes, those are just a couple things that I have to say.
So I say this. You know what? Bishop been almost 60 years because he just turned 80. So it's been almost 60. It's like
Okay.
58 years. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah, so-
wow. Yes.
So I tell people this. I tell couples this all the time. A couple things, like three things. One is that me personally, I have played football. I've been to war. Been in a couple different occupations of war. Jumped out of airplanes during that time. Being shot at in a wartime setting. All of that's easier than being married. because marriage turns a mirror on you
Yep.
to make you look at yourself and the innermost workings of yourself. And we often say this, Stephanie and I, we can sum up every marital problem in just one word:
That's it.
selfishness.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's it. If you think about the problems that people have
Yeah.
to go to the divorce court,
Yeah.
it's really selfishness.
Selfishness.
If it's financial, right? People say, well, that's a big problem. It's probably selfishness. You're going to have one that it may be too tight with the money because they're a saver, don't understand that maybe it's okay to splurge a little bit. Selfish.
Yeah.
Then you're going to have one that just goes out and spend and do what they want to do, and with no regard to what's in the house. Selfishness. When it comes to communication, you're going to have one that likes to overtalk the other and don't want to take the time to listen. Selfishness. Right? Then you're going to have one that just does a passive listen and don't want to listen. Selfish. When it comes to sex, that's another big one. You're going to have one that says, well, I don't feel like I want to do it all the time. Well, sometimes, if you just think about the needs of your partner, maybe you do it because your partner needs it. And maybe so in the process, you might start enjoying it. Selfishness. If the other partner who wants it all the time could just stop and think, well, maybe I can't get it 6 days a week.
Maurice and Kimmy.
Oh, yeah.
Selfishness.
Right.
Me. Selfish. Right? And so if we step back and we wake up every morning and we say, what is it that I can do for you to meet your need? Now, if you both saying that and you meaning it, if I'm concerned about her needs, not mine, if I'm concerned about her needs and she's concerned about my needs,
Right.
how they say it,
we will-
everybody needs met.
That's right.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes. Yes.
Everybody
we
needs
will meet each
is
other's
met.
needs.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that's how it's I heard something one time and I'm going to end the question on this. I heard a woman ask a man in a session one time. I tell him, it might be a statement. You don't love me like you used to love me. And we know it started out. Love is different. For a while, I thought, that's a good thing. Maybe you need to rekindle love with this different. Now, today, that I'm sitting here, being married 28 years, been together 30.
31.
31.
Don't forget the one.
Yeah.
The number's right.
I keep it right.
Significant one.
Get you in
Okay,
trouble.
Go ahead.
I think now that's a stupid statement. The most stupidest statement I ever heard, actually, when it comes to relationships. Because I sit here and I think today, I don't love her the way I used to. Because when we first got together, I didn't have the foreknowledge or the intellect to understand what it would be like after we've been through sickness, after we've been through trials, after we've been through financial problems, and she's still here, she's still there. So that love is totally different now. So no, I don't love you the way I used to love you. This love is mature and it's grown. You had to go through that stuff. Love is an action word.
Right.
And in order for that love to grow and be different, you got to get to the other side of it. This is why it's easier to be hit by a linebacker than it is to be married, because you don't want to go through the hard stuff.
Yeah.
To see the love grow.
Right.
Yeah. People want the love to grow or get just, I don't know, through osmosis, organically, whatever. No, it grows through some stuff that happens.
Right.
And so when I tell her that I love her today, it has a different connotation than when we first met. 'Cause we had been through nothing at that point. Right. And you have to be able to appreciate that. We are polar opposites. When I say polar opposites, we are polar opposites.
Right.
She'll get a chance to ask that. Give her a minute.
So
Don't get him behind the mic now.
Man,
Don't
it's all about you
Do
two.
not get a pastor behind the mic. That's all I gotta say. Usually I got a whole bunch to say, but put him behind that mic. He got a whole bunch to
But
say.
this is good information.
good
Our
information.
listeners need to hear this.
Because what he said about being selfish makes more sense when I hear these conversations online. Like the one that sticks out, there's this thing that says a man is only love predicated on what he can offer the woman, or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not true. And this is a lot of men talk about, well, a woman don't do this, a woman don't do that, but I still need a woman to be submissive. But then we go in that conversation. Right now, you're exhibiting selfish behavior.
Yep.
You don't know what submission means.
That's right.
Are you the leader in the relationship or in the home?
Yeah.
And these are conversations that are not out. And when you said selfish, and I can think about some relationship marriages that we know that ended, and I can think about what's been said, I can see the selfish aspect.
It's selfish. Yeah. What we end up focusing on is the leaves on the tree.
Yeah.
Right? Well, we didn't spend enough time together. It's a leaf on the tree. Just leaves. Or things got bad financially or whatever. Somebody lost a job or whatever. That's leaves. That's all leaves. Right. The root of the problem.
That's right. The root.
Right.
The root of
is
the problem.
selfishness.
Right. That's it.
And when you get that root, you never got to worry about the tree being green.
Yep.
So. We watch a lot of
What, my trash TV?
No. What we watched last night.
Trash TV.
Because I like Love and Marriage Huntsville, and so I call that my trash TV.
Oh,
where it's
okay.
just,
but we watch a lot of those movies like where
what do we? The Netflix thing.
Yeah. So like they're like the Dateline movies where somebody got murdered or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
So like the Scott,
Lifetime movies.
Yeah.
No, the man always get killed.
But it's
in
not.
Lifetime.
It's not. But these
No.
These are actual.
Yes,
occurrences.
Right.
this one we watched last night.
These are
Like
dates.
woman-
like the Scott Peterson.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
So whatever.
He was selfish.
Yes.
He wanted that other girl.
That's
and
right.
this guy we watched last night,
Yeah.
he was selfish.
Yeah.
And he did what he did. And I'm just like,
So it's like they showed her being dropped off from a work event at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Her ring camera has her going in. And then the next day she's missing. Cars in the garage, purse is there. Her and the 2 children are gone. And you're just listening to all the police interviews, looking at the cameras, the text messages between her and her husband.
yeah.
And ultimately, he was cheating on her, selfish,
Yeah.
and killed his wife and his 2 children.
Yeah.
Right.
Selfish.
Wow.
Right.
Selfish.
You can see in the messages like where she's like fighting. Because first we was like, man, she's a trip. But then it goes on.
Yeah.
Then when we find out he was cheating.
Because he lost all this weight in the
Yeah.
gym. And
Yeah.
Let me say this. If you ask most people, are they selfish? Most people, 99% will probably tell you
They
they're
gonna
not
say no.
selfish.
Yeah.
But what we don't realize is that you don't get to define selfishness.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you define it, that's being selfish.
right.
You don't get to define it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? If if the person that you are closest to and intimate with says that you're selfish, you might need to unravel that and see why do you feel like I'm selfish, right?
Yeah.
And so you cannot you can't put your own definition on selfish, because now you're saying this is me, take it or leave it. Selfish.
Sometimes, I'll share this analogy in my counseling sessions with my clients, and I will tell them, I want them to think back, the ones that have children. And I'll tell them, I said, think about your baby. You would feed your baby. You would make sure that their diapers changed, they're all good. You lay them down. But what do? They begin to cry. I said, we all have been born with us, we have selfishness in us.
Right.
But that is a form of selfishness. They want your attention. You have stuff to do. And I'll tell them, you're running around the house. You got stuff you need to take care of. You took care of them first. They're good. They should be able to just sit in their bassinet or wherever you place them comfortably.
Right.
However, they'll begin to cry because they want you to pick them up. They want that. It's like almost as, I want this and I want it now.
Right.
This is my time. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with cuddling your baby.
Right.
But at the same time, that is
Wow.
a point of selfishness. I mean, it's like that baby wants what that baby wants.
Yep.
Even after they're well taken care of. Belly full,
Yeah.
the whole 9 yards. But that's just a little example that I give them. And I said, it's already innately, it's already in us. But we have an opportunity to get past that.
Right.
We don't have to always carry that like a badge of honor and just be selfish. We don't have to do that.
I like it.
Yeah.
This setup is perfect. So I want to do this before we close out.
Yeah.
And we always share. I share this with my friends, and I share this on our podcast.
Yeah.
And people are amazed. Some people are shocked when I tell them the advice my dad gave us as a minister. First thing he told us to do, he said, get counseling.
Yeah.
Yep.
He said, get spiritual counseling, and he said, get regular counseling.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's what I want, because I didn't know you were a counselor.
Yeah.
So I think this is great that we have you. We have a spiritual counselor and we have a mental health counselor.
Yes.
So what advice, I want each one of you to give, like, what type of advice would you give somebody who's unhealthy in their marriage? What advice would you just give somebody if you were counseling in any capacity? What's the key things that you would kind of tell them?
And when you say unhealthy in their marriage, in what aspect?
Just struggling, maybe being selfish.
Physically, emotionally, mentally.
Let's do emotionally.
Okay. Because, at the end of the day, there's always, that word unhealthy is like it's a big word.
Yeah.
I'll just touch on this. You've had other professionals on here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need for me to belabor this, but I'll just say it this way. If you are with somebody who is emotionally unhealthy, encourage them to seek for help. And I'm going to put it this way. I know you probably have like a very broad audience, different demographics, but one thing that I've noticed about African American people, we have a struggle with admitting when we need help.
Right.
And I'm sure that there's others that probably, other nationalities that probably do the same thing. But being I'm a black woman, I'm going to talk about it.
Right.
And I have a very large demographic of African American clients. And so with that being said, I'm going to put it this way. We have to always remember that we can't show up for someone else until we are actually okay.
Right.
And emotionally, I share this with my clients. In order for you to be an impact in your home, in your job, with your friends, you have to be emotionally well.
Right.
If your emotions are all over the place and you don't know how to navigate through them, you're not showing up for those who, are looking to you for guidance. There could be something that, you need or they need from you. But then if you're like, one day you're up, one day you're down, one day you're up, there's always help.
Right.
And I encourage people, I tell them, I said, look, we'll work together. And this is what I do. It's all connected. Everything, all of those things that you feel, they're all connected, and you're human. So it's okay to, like I said, not be okay. That's a cliche,
Right.
that's out there now about mental health. It is okay, but showing up for yourself first. And I tell people that it's like when you get on an airplane, what do they tell you to do?
Put your mask first
Put your mask first,
and then help.
and then help.
Right.
So help, because it starts with you.
Right.
Emotional help. That's where you become emotionally strong. Then you'll be able to help everybody else.
Yeah, and I don't know why there's such a stigma on mental health and wanting to get help. I think that I'm seeing like it's being more talked about, as being
Yes.
more accepted.
It is.
From previous years, but I don't know how we keep the dialogue open just so people become comfortable to seek help.
Well, I'm going to just say this. Oftentimes, and I've heard this more times than not, it comes from our upbringing.
Oh, absolutely.
We have been told, what happens in the house stays in the house. Don't be telling nobody your business. Don't be telling nobody our business.
Right.
And so we have adopted that mindset, and as a society, and I hear people tell me that all the time, that they have a difficult time talking to me because I'm quote unquote a stranger. But I tell them, I said, I need you to separate me from being just an average stranger. This is my profession. I went through college. I got training, got my license. It's one of those things where I am a trained professional. So it's different from just talking to any,
The barber.
I was going to say,
I am not the hairdresser.
Right. They're talking to the barber. I read a book one time, and I'm just going to say this really quick before my husband speaks. It's called The Skilled Professional. And the book was all about the different types of professions that are out there that are doing what we do as counselors. And when I say doing what we do, without a license,
Right.
without the training, they were talking about hairdressers, nail technicians, barbers, people at a grocery store, things like that. And the reason why
Life coaches.
well,
And now Gen AI.
so it was the whole part of that was there's people every day that are going to listen to your problems. However, are they going to give you the feedback that you need
Right.
that's going to help you be better?
Right.
And that's what I have to say. If there is a licensed professional counselor that anyone can tap into, and this is not a shameless plug, I'm like, go out there and get the help. It is okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Pastor.
One of the things that I think can help with that emotional intelligence, because we do have a lot of people that are not emotional intelligent at all.
Yes.
At all, is that spiritual component that will help you to harness your emotions.
Yep.
Right? For too long in the black church, we go to quote unquote black church, because I really don't believe in such thing as black church, because there's no black heaven, so why should there be a black church? But that's another thing.
Right.
But for too long in the black church, we go to church and again we jump around and we dance around, and we are looking for something that will just pander to our emotions, but not correct our emotions.
Yeah.
The Word of God is designed to do just that. In other words, apply the Word of God to your life, and you will see your emotions start to change.
Yeah.
The Bible says, "Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Right? We have to really start in churches teaching the Word of God and allowing and challenging people to allow the Word of God to start transforming them, allow it to get on the inside of them, and really begin to apply this Word of God. It's just not enough just to say, I'm saved, I'm Holy Ghost filled, I'm fire baptized, and I'm going to do this. There's a lot of folks that say that, and then their home life is a mess, their marriage is a mess, they're the worst employees, and nobody like them in the neighborhood. And that shouldn't be.
Right.
It's because because your emotions are wrecked and there's something going on with you mentally and nobody has enough gumption to even tell you what's going on. So go to a professional that will tell you what's going on, but then apply this word of God that you say that's so important in your life to your life and watch your life change.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Excellent. This was I had a really good time with you two both, and I hope we can get you back on the Thursday podcast in the future, because this was very insightful, because I think you both really touched on some things that we've never addressed, and we've been doing this for 4 years. Okay. So that selfish aspect is new, because it's out there, but you hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah.
And
I was there when you did that sermon, and then my uncle, after his wife did the announcements, he was like, "Is there anything I can do for you?" Yeah.
Yep.
So let our listeners know where the website, the church website, if anyone wants to donate to the church, any contact, so anybody can contact you, or even if somebody wants to contact you for a session, just go ahead and give us some information, some social medias, or whatever it is that you have.
Okay.
I'll let my wife go first, because she is she's one of the best therapists in the whole central Columbus area. So
yeah, we got to see if you on our insurance.
So hey, get this. I mean, not because she's my wife, right? But I have invited her in to do sessions for my company. We are a big company. We got several hundred employees. Right. And I recommended her for an association that I'm part of. That's not part of our industry. She comes there and she's done she's done sessions. So and with rave reviews. And so this is the best therapist in Central Ohio. I'm telling you.
Well, I appreciate that. Lord knows I'm striving to walk in my purpose and my calling. This is my passion. I love helping people. Right. But I'll let him give the church website and church information. But the name of my company is Harmony Haven Counseling, and the best way to reach me is by phone, 614-403-4632. That's my number. That's the best way to have my phone on me all the time. That's my business line. Don't think that's my personal line, because it's not. I will throw this out there. I do not take calls on the weekend, because that's the time for me to have with my family.
Absolutely.
But Monday through Friday, I'm there in my office, and I can work on getting you in. That's not a shameless plug, but if someone, and I would say this, the best way that, and this is, and I'm dead serious, I appreciate the compliments that my amazing husband gave me, but the best way to tap in to find a therapist that will actually fit your specific needs is going to Psychology Today. PsychologyToday.com is the best way. Okay. You can add whatever filter you need. And when I say filter, you can filter out by race, gender, you can filter out by religion. Okay. All of those filters are on there. And so that is the best way. I'm on Psychology Today as well. But along with that, that is the best way to find the person that you fit well with. Because everybody is not a fit. And it's okay. Right. I mean, it is okay. Find the person that you need to see, and all the insurance information is listed on there as well. Right. Okay. But go ahead, babe, and talk about.
The problem is she's so good. If you go in the filter, she's gonna pop up. She's at the top of the list. So I'm trying to.
I just love him not being biased. I'm trying to just say, look. I love him not being biased.
It's not even being biased. I'm telling you what I've watched and observed. So go to Psychology Today and tell me I'm lying. We put a filter in, she's gonna pop up. I'm telling you. So that look,
I appreciate.
Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Try it for yourself.
Let me just say this really, really quick. He is my number one cheerleader. This man, when I was going through even as a grown adult, going through my times where I said, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know.
Yeah, I know that conversation.
He was like, Step, that's what he calls me. Step, let me tell you, you're going to need to do something and stick with it. You're not going to be jumping in one day and jumping back out. He was like, whatever it is that you have a passion for, you're going to do that and you're going to stick to it. And so even when it got hard in undergrad and graduate school, where I came home crying and staying up to 3 o'clock in the morning trying to write a paper, this one right here, you can do it. You can do it, Step. And this has always been my cheerleader, even when those times when I was, ooh, the struggle was real. Yeah. But that's my cheerleader right there. And I thank God for him.
Remember, I done jumped out of planes and been shot at. You gonna write this paper. You gonna write this paper.
Really?
Yeah. I have to remind somebody how influential they are on the podcast.
I don't know who he's talking about.
How good they sound.
Okay.
And how many people are eager to hear her.
Yes.
She, I don't like to do it. So I have to find stand-ins or do it myself. But she is the bee's knees.
Look, the hers, you are amazing. I didn't realize that y'all had this whole little thing going here. But just your voice alone is very soothing.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to take the compliment. I'm not going to reject it. I accept it. Thank you.
Take it.
Thank you.
It belongs to you.
Thank you.
I don't believe in flattering people. I believe in affirming them.
Thank you.
Flattery is trying to get something from you. I'm affirming you. I'm putting something in you.
Okay, and I'm taking it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
but we need to
you.
work on the practical application part, though. So,
You know what?
Go ahead, Pastor.
so yeah,
The Purpose Center website. Don't you start preaching.
I'm not gonna.
Okay, go ahead.
But I'm just gonna. I'm
Okay,
just gonna
yeah.
ditto
Oh,
everything
please,
you said.
please. Yes, pour. Affirm. Go ahead.
Yes. I agree with everything that Joseph said. I agree with everything Stephanie said. You have more to offer than this, and so practical application. That's your
There you
words. Words.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Practical
he
application.
got a word for the day.
So
Come
if
on,
you are
Pastor.
operating anything meaningful and it doesn't scare you, it doesn't shake you,
Yes.
or it doesn't intimidate you, then that's not where you need to be. You need to be in spots where you are doing that, and that's where you're going to make the greatest impact. But
Okay.
PurposeCenterChurch.com, that's it, easy. Everything is there, right? PurposeCenterChurch.com,
Yes.
and it'll get you to our social medias, and then if you want to give, it'll get you to that too. So,
Yep.
yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, Pastor and First Lady Jones, we appreciate you coming down to the Elephant Room Studios. We welcome you to our home. At this point, we don't consider you friends. We definitely consider you family. We enjoy fellowshipping with you and the other members of the Purpose Center Church, because I am a member of the boardroom. And like I said, the last session kind of hit me over the head a little bit, so I know there's some work that I have to do within myself, which is fine, because I have a wonderful wife that I can talk to with non-judgment, and she affirms that I am the leader of the home, and that I continue to have value no matter what my situation is.
Absolutely.
And that's what submissive wives do.
Yes.
Yeah.
They keep pushing you forward. For our listeners, you can catch us on all social medias. I got so much I got to remember it. So IG, Facebook, and X is at Sons of SPP. No, that's wrong. That's the business. So, yeah, I do. Facebook and X, it's Two Harks. Just look for the Two Harks. Number 2, HARKS. On YouTube, just look for the Two Harks. We're streaming on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon, and iHeart. So we got a lot. Yeah, we got a lot going on. And on TikTok, you can follow us to see what's going on at SPP Media. So make sure you follow us. Again, thank you for coming. We encourage all and anyone who has any questions or concerns or comments. You can always send us a DM. We'll answer, get to you whenever we can. We appreciate any comments. And the one thing that we always like to say, and I always try to remember to say when I'm closing out, is just to remember to
Thank you. No, not that one.
well, Her thing is thank you for your
Thank
ear
you for your ears.
and to pray along the way.
I love it.